Hi everyone and welcome to this video on the LinkedIn home feed. So first things first, if you are on the desktop, just go to the top menu bar and if you scroll to the right, you will see the little icon for home, the little picture of a house, click, and now you're on the LinkedIn home feed. And I think the easiest way to think of this area is like an online magazine or an online newspaper, and you can control and curate the content. Okay, your LinkedIn home feed, it contains updates from your networks or your connections, also company pages that you follow, interests that you follow, including hashtags, also recommended content and sponsored content. Now, how social you are on LinkedIn will impact the kind of content that you're going to see in your home feed. And by engaging and updating your feed preferences, you're going to create a more personalized and curated home feed with relevant content for you. So the LinkedIn algorithm is at play. When it comes to recommended content, you may sometimes see posts with labels such as trending, recommended for you, or popular. And this recommended content is determined by LinkedIn's algorithm and the editorial team at LinkedIn. So LinkedIn say whether it's trending, you don't. And I also want to touch briefly on sponsored content, and you will know this as promoted content. And most of the content on your home feed will be organic information from your network. However, occasionally you will spot sponsored content, which is paid advertising, and this will be shown to the audience criteria of the advertiser and also to LinkedIn members who are following the sponsoring organization. So if I spot any recommended content or sponsored content, I'll let you know. I'm going to just look, oh, there we go, straight away. We can see a promoted ad from IBM. And you know it's sponsored advertising because it has the word promoted, and that's how you know. And don't worry if you get this kind of content in your feed, everybody gets paid advertising. It's across all social media. If I do spot some recommended content while I'm making this video, I'll also flag it to you. Now, I wanted to just show you briefly how to curate your feed. So under this section, start a post, if you go, you see that there's a little drop down menu here on the right hand side, and you can sort your feed by top posts or recent posts. So this is handy to know. And you might think, well, that's 2 days old. How is it recent? Well, Christine's just celebrated and commented with an emoji. So that's the recent thing. So it's useful to kind of refresh them and go between the two and see what's going on. Okay, so now you know how to curate your home feed. Do you know how to curate your posts? Well, if you go to the top right hand corner of every post, you'll see 3 dots, and this also applies to the phone app. And you can see you have the option to save a post for later if you find it interesting. You can send it in a private message. I do this now and again. It's a nice thing to do. It's sharing information, being a valuable resource. You can copy the link to the post if you want to share it somewhere else. Hopefully this post isn't driving you mad because it is flashing a bit, so bear with me folks. So you can copy the link to the post, you can embed the post, you can hide the post, you can unfollow the person. So I'll let you in a secret, I've unfollowed probably half of my network, and the reason being a lot of my network are related to my previous role and career, so the content is not always of interest or relevant to me. I'm still connected to the people, they're still good people, but I'm not seeing stuff that I don't want to. And I think the more you can curate your feed, the more you're going to engage on LinkedIn, the more you're going to like the post, you're going to comment, you're going to start networking on the home feed and making it work for you. You can also report a post, you can click to improve your feed, and you can see who could also see this post. Okay, so I'm going to just click out of this flashing post here, and I'm going to go into this section here, start a post. Okay, so let's click through. Now, I'm not going to write a post, but I'm just going to tell you that you can write up to 1,300 characters in this space, and underneath you can add hashtags which will help you get greater reach. So in general, 3 hashtags are optimum, so it's not linked or Instagram. You don't need to put down 30 hashtags, okay? And of course you can create your own hashtag. I have one, hashtag my super connector. I have one for the summit, hashtag the LinkedIn lockdown summit, if you want to share that. And I think a lot of companies create their own and they create a kind of a niche topic, but in general you're going to want to pick 2 highly visible hashtags to get some reach, with one specific one which is maybe a little bit less popular will help you maximize your chances. If you're stuck as to what kind of hashtag to use, perhaps geography is important, so the area you want to reach, or your niche, your industry. So for me, I always do, hashtag LinkedIn or hashtag LinkedIn training. Occasionally, if it's connected to where I live, it could be hashtag Devon, hashtag Exeter. So hopefully that's of use. So don't get too hung up on hashtags. 3 is optimum. And you can see underneath, I have the option to click through and add a photo or a graphic. I can also add a video. And then this one here is add a document. So that's usually like a PDF. And you can click through and you have the option to either, choose this from the desktop, and you can also upload from the cloud. So from Dropbox, OneDrive, or Google Drive. I'm going to click back. And I just want to spotlight these features underneath, and a lot of these are new. Celebrate your teammates, quite nice. You click through, you can add in a photo of the new teammate, you add in a little, welcome, tag them in with that @ so that they can get it. And you've got 72 characters, and you can also tag in your teammates. So that's a nice thing to do. You can also give kudos, which is a nice little feature. In general, it's not as important as, giving a recommendation to someone, but it's a nice thing to explore. I'm also going to click here on Find an Expert. This is a good way to find somebody that, if you need help with finding a website designer, a graphic designer, anything, or you're looking for a new job, you just click through here. So you're given the option to select the category of help you need. If it's not listed, just select Other. You can also select the location, and then the description, and they've given you example on the screen. So, can anyone recommend a tax professional who can help me? And then you click done. So this is a really useful new feature. Create a poll. As I mentioned at the very start of this, I did one about where do you spend your time on LinkedIn. So it's a really good feature. So you ask your question, and then automatically it gives you 2 options, and you can add in a third. And then you can select the poll duration, whether it's 1 day, 3 days, 1 week, 2 weeks. And it's really useful. Be strategic when you're using polls. Don't just poll for the sake of polling. Make it interesting. Do research for your company. And it's great to get the results of the poll, but it's also great to see who voted in the poll. And by that, for example, I mentioned my poll where 86% said they were using the home feed, 6% were lurking, 6% were in Messenger, and 0% were in groups. So I can click on those people. So the 86% who were on the home feed, and I can actually reach out and say, thanks so much for taking part in my recent poll. I can see that you spend most of your time on LinkedIn on the home feed. Would you like to join the LinkedIn Lockdown Summit? I'm talking about Messenger and groups. So be strategic with your polls, with the results, and also the people. It's a great way to reach out with somebody because they've already engaged with you in your poll. So it's like a legitimate way to follow up the conversation. So I really like the polling feature when used well. Okay, so you can also refer a connection. And in here, you just use the @, bring up somebody and click on true. And then you can offer help. So this is a new feature as well, and it seems to just pre-select general help, and you could say, you wanted to offer volunteering, resumes, career coaching, whatever. Okay, so check all this out and explore, guys. You can also see opposite your name this drop down, and there are various options for how far the reach of your post goes. So this is set automatically to anyone on or off LinkedIn. You can also share to Twitter if you want. You can target your connections only if you don't want to go bigger than that. And you can also, target somebody in a group. So I could actually share to my group or other groups if I wanted to. So check this all out. And the more you can be strategic with your post, the better. And you can see that the home feed's constantly refreshing itself. It's now telling me there are new posts, and there's a little red dot here on the home. And this just means that there's new content the whole time. So I'm just going to click on true and refresh the page. Now, in general, when it comes to posts on LinkedIn, status updates get the most visibility. But I'm also going to show you how to write an article on LinkedIn, and this is in a separate blogging platform that's built into the back end of LinkedIn. So when you write an article, it is attached to your profile permanently. But when you write a post, unless it goes viral, it will be on your feed for a few days and then it disappears, it's gone. Unless you've kept track, you've copied the link. I know some people do, they have an Excel file and they keep a track of all their posts and the links and the stats. But when you write an article, and when you write an article, you can write up to 120,000 characters as opposed to 1,300. So it's a long form. So I'm going to click through here and just show you briefly around the platform. And I'd love to know in the chat box who has written a blog, who has ever been in this area here. Let me know if you've written a blog. Have you ever been in the back end of this LinkedIn publisher? So you can see it's similar to something like WordPress or on a website, any kind of generic blog. You've got the option to attach a graphic at the top. You write your headline in this section, and underneath you can click here and you can write content, and you can also attach images, videos, slides, links. You can also do all of your formatting up here, and this publishing menu is a handy way of keeping track of everything. So I can get access to all of my articles by clicking through here. I'll just show you my previous ones. So these are my previous ones, and I haven't done one in a while, in a good few months, so I better do one soon. So you can see you can go back to your old articles and you can edit them, or you can delete them if they're no longer relevant. Okay, so you might want to check out some of mine. They might be of use, especially that one, your 2020 SSI score. So I'm going to click back out, and I'm going to click back out of this platform because we're not publishing a blog today. So I'm going to click actually back onto the little home feed icon. And you might say, you know, you just showed me how to get into the blogging thing, but how do I find that again? And if I publish a blog, or I want to edit a blog, or I've got a draft, how do I get back to it? Well, you have to pretend that you're going in to write it again. So you always go in this way, write an article, and you're back in. And then you can see, you know, all your articles. If you've any drafts, I've no drafts at the moment because I didn't type anything. So yeah, you just always have to click back on the home feed and then pretend that you're going back in. Okay, so I just want to follow up, like wrap it up really, and say, if writing a post is not for you, and sharing a graphic or sharing a video or sharing, you know, a branded document or doing a poll or writing an article, that is absolutely fine. Just do a little bit of LinkedIn love like I suggest. Just scroll through your feed and just, you know, give a few likes and then just a few comments. And when you are commenting, just remember to tag the person in so that they get it. It doesn't have to be all about posts or blogs, okay? Every time you write a comment on LinkedIn on the home feed, it's like dropping a virtual business card. People will see your little headshot, so here's Shania here, and your headline, okay? They will see this with every comment. So you're showing up as a thought leader, somebody giving value, someone helpful. And that's powerful as well. And I've had people reach out to me on the back of comments. I've had 2 guys in a workshop about 3 weeks after I'd written a comment, quote it back to me word for word. And it was nothing to do with LinkedIn. It was about being resilient in business. So people are naturally curious / nosy, call it what you will, and they read your comments. So your comments can have a lot of impact if you don't feel up to, you know, writing that post, creating that video, writing that blog. Comments could be the way to go for you, and just think of it as networking, chatting, but of course always censor yourself before you write anything. Always put the best version of yourself forward. So that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up really, and I hope this was useful to you, and I'd love to know how you use the home feed. What do you do? Is it like mainly like status updates, posts, blogs, videos, branded documents, polls, comments, you know, likes, shares? Let me know how you're using the home feed so everybody can see and kind of gauge what other people are doing, okay? So thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next. Thank you.